Hey there, this is Tyler from Sure to Shame bringing you your UFC 207 breakdown. Ronda Rousey versus Amanda Nunes. Apparently Ronda's the champ. No one told me, but she's front and center for all this coverage, so I don't even know who this Amanda chick is, apparently. We're going to start it off with the main card. Bunch of shakeups to this card, so if you're not aware, we are starting with Luis Smoka versus Ray Borg, which was buried like early on the regular prelims, but now it's a main card fight. Good for those guys. These guys are pretty much the same fighter. They have a similar kind of style. The difference being Smoka is a judo brown belt. He loves the head and arm throw. While Borg relies more on a wrestling background. Both of these guys, once they get it down, their stand-ups kind of a side note. I would give the Ray Borg the stand-up advantage. He's got better movement, better footwork. But both these guys like to fight on the ground. The issue with these guys and why they aren't already in title contention is kind of a bit of weakness in their ground game. These guys get a little happy for the submission. They fight for the Von Flue, the Darce, whatever they can get, but they don't secure proper body control to start. They jump on, they grab anything they can, but they both lose a lot of momentum in transitions, and they don't properly lock up guards or anything. For that reason, Borg has a little bit more of a wrestling background. He has puts a little bit more weight on his opponent. So that's why I'm going to lean towards Ray Borg in this fight. I'm going to say probably some decision. Wouldn't be surprised if it's submission, but I think that it goes the distance. Then we get another one that was brought up from mid-card into the main event. Dong Hyun Kim versus Tarek Saffiedine. Couple of guys who both need a high-profile win. These guys are kind of in that Matt Brown territory where they have always been ranked in the top 10, but they've not really beaten any top 10 opponents. Every time they give them that kind of test, they fall a little bit short. Dong Hyun Kim lost to Carlos Condit, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, while Tarek Saffiedine lost to Rory McDonald. But Tarek does have a couple more big wins on his side. When you look at their styles, of course Tarek is a stand-up guy. He has pretty decent takedown defense. I hand over fist, I give him the striking advantage. Way higher pedigree. But Dong Hyun Kim can pull out a couple of surprises, like a spinning back elbow. You gotta let him have that. Kim is mostly a grappler. Like, he earned his bones being a striker, but watching his last couple fights, he likes to get it to the ground. It's hard to pin down what exactly his pedigree is, because he's dabbled everywhere. He's got judo, wrestling. He even has a bit of a sambo degree. It's just anything he can use to get somebody to the ground. It ain't pretty, and his groundwork isn't pretty, but it's useful and it works. He has this kind of dirty jiu-jitsu where he muscles you and forces you into bad positions where he can ground and pound you or take a submission. But if you put him against Damian Maia, he's going to get eaten alive. Maybe Neil Magny, but against Tarek Saffiedine, I think that if he gets it to the ground, he is going to cruise. So this fight all depends on who is able to implement their game plan. Kim or Saffiedine, who's going to be able to land a big punch, who's going to be able to get the other to the ground. I feel like Kim could do it. I feel like he has a lot more, he has more opportunity to get Saffiedine to the ground, but I'm just going on gut here, so trust me on this. I think Saffiedine will be able to keep it on the feet, possibly score a KO win. That's just how I feel this is going to go. I'm not going to say that's my analytical breakdown. My analytical breakdown is that Kim takes him down and grounds him out. But I just have this feeling that Saffiedine's going to be able to land that big shot. That brings us to our feature bout. TJ Dillashaw, former champ, against John Lineker, former flyweight. TJ is a very dynamic striker, but I feel like this might be a bad matchup for him. Lineker is very flat-footed, stationary, likes to force you to come to him. That sounds like a minus. Stay with me on this. He stays stationary, defensively sound, and makes you cut in on him and try and unload combos where he can counter-strike. TJ, watching his previous fights, he likes to pop in and unload a combo and then pop out, pivot off to the side or move backwards. We saw Dodson do that, and Lineker was able to unload big shots on him. And I don't know, it's just, I feel like he runs too high of a risk of getting caught, and Lineker being able to back TJ up. TJ can win this one. He just has to stay on the outside, but that's just not his style. He has to avoid wrestling. He has to stay on the outside, chop him down with leg kicks, and really get Lineker thinking about something other than the counter-striking. Get his mind off that and start thinking about, ow, my goddamn legs hurt. We saw him outpoint Renan Barão for long periods of time, but Renan Barão had a style that really complemented TJ's. Lineker's fast, he's a counter striker, and he likes to let loose big shots. I just think he's going to get caught. That's all I have to say. Lineker has that big right hand, uppercut, hook, whatever he can do to let that off. And TJ's probably going to use that duck and weave and walk right into it. It's just not looking good for him. So I'm going to say Lineker by decision. Nah, I'm going to say KO. Lineker by KO. That brings us to our first of the title fights. Dominick Cruz, defending champion, versus Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt fights a lot like Conor. He uses wild, unorthodox style, just doesn't gets you confused at what he's doing. And anything he can do just to make you forget about that powerful right hand. But Cruz, much like in the Dillashaw, will stay well out of the striking range, pepper him with some shots to steal rounds, just outpoint him. And as we enter rounds 3, 4, 5, Garbrandt's going to start getting emotional. He's going to get frustrated and swing and just look bad. Once you get upset, you stop thinking about how you look to the crowd, how you look to the judges, and you just think, I want to knock this guy out. He's a young guy. Garbrandt is young. He's still learning. In a couple years, he might be the guy who destroys Dominick Cruz. I just don't think this is his year. And I can get why they're doing this fight. They want him to get that feeling so then they could sell a rematch down the road, which I think Garbrandt could win. But at this time, he doesn't know what Cruz is going to do to him. He doesn't know how Cruz fights. He's not been in the ring with Cruz. And it's going to catch him off guard, and he's going to get desperate, and he's going to make mistakes. And I think Cruz is going to cruise to a decision. See what I did there? That brings us to our main event of the evening. Ronda Rousey versus... I don't know. She's not in any of the commercials. She's not in any of the promotional images. I think it's just some girl off the street. I'm just kidding. It's Amanda Nunes. She is actually our current champ. Would you believe it? When you think about it, Nunes has a clear and distinct stand-up advantage. If Ronda tries to exchange with her like she did with Alexis Davis or Sarah McMahon or Bethe Correia, it's going to be an early night for her. This one will not go her way. Nunes will land, and she will land hard, and this fight will be over early. The issue with that lies in the grappling. Nunes uses, when it comes to grappling, Nunes likes to use a body lock and forward momentum to take the fight down, but against a high-level judoka like Ronda, that's a horrible game plan. Ronda will use her momentum against her. I saw Kat Zingano do this to Amanda Nunes, and that influenced my decision on this a lot. Then even if she does get Ronda on her back, she does not like if she winds up in Ronda's guard, she does not protect her arms enough. She gave up underhooks to people, and Ronda loves using the underhook off her back to get that armbar. Ronda can hit that armbar from anywhere. Yes, we're going back to Ronda armbar Rousey. This is why I don't like this fight, because people forget what Ronda can do. They forget how great she was in her day. Everybody just remembers her getting head kicked. They remember how sloppy she looked against Holly Holm. They forget the dominant motherfucker that she can be. But, so I have to say, like, if this gets to the ground, Ronda will run away with it. I think once you weigh the variables, this match has a great chance of getting to the ground. It's more likely than not. And she will be trying to regain her credibility from the Holly Holm fight. Now, you gotta look, one of the X factors is, of course, Ronda didn't do any press before this. You have to wonder if that's mind games, or if she really is a hollow shell. It could go either way. I don't know what's going on with Ronda. I don't know if this is her last fight. I don't know if she's here for a paycheck, or if she's here to relaunch her star for Hollywood. Something is off here, and it could play out, but I'm going to be an optimist. I'm going to say Ronda Rousey, first round armbar. And that's my predictions for UFC 207, Rousey versus Nunes. Or Nunes versus Rousey, I guess it should be. But if you disagree with me, leave a comment. Let me know. Meet me at a bar. Let me know. Say, hey, I disagree with you. Or, hey, you're really smart and handsome. Okay, bye. See you at UFC 208.